something.
I like it though, which is probably wrong.
A case in Montana published by the New York Times on August 31st, 2009 tells the story of a Mr. Robert Baxter, who was by all accounts a tough man. Even in the end, as lymphocytic leukemia was killing him, Baxter, a 76-year-old truck driver from Billings, Montana, fought on. But by then he was struggling not for life, but for the right to die with help from his doctor. Now in death, Mr. Baxter is at the center of a right to die debate that could make Montana the first state in the country to declare that medical aid in dying is a protected right under a state constitution. Citing the New York Times, August 5th, 2013, a woman named Jane Lauder, lifetime resident of Seattle, told her family that she was going to write her own obituary. She was dying from grade 3, stage C3, endometrial cancer, recurrent and metastasized to the liver and abdomen. On July 18th, the couple and their 2 children gathered in the parents' bedroom. The last song she heard before pouring powdered barbiturates provided by hospice officials into a glass of grape juice was George Gershwin's Lullaby. Then she hugged and kissed them all goodbye, swallowed the drink, and within minutes lapsed into a coma and died. People with terminal illness should have the right to physician-assisted suicide if that's what they choose. Santa Clara University in California said in an article that rapid and dramatic developments in medical technology, medicine and technology have given us the power to save more lives than was ever possible in the past. Medicine has put at our disposal the means to cure or reduce the suffering of people afflicted with diseases that were once fatal and painful. At the same time, however, medical technology has given us the power to sustain the lives, or some would say prolong the deaths, of patients whose physical or mental capabilities cannot be restored, whose degenerating conditions cannot be reversed, and whose pain cannot be eliminated. People with terminal illnesses should have the right to doctor-assisted suicide. That opinion is also shared by Professor Stephen Hawking, according to an article in The Guardian on September 17, 2013. In an interview with the BBC, Hawking offered his unqualified support to those who feel their life is no longer tolerable. So where does society stand on the issue of doctor-assisted suicide? Paul Lamb, in an article in The Guardian on July 31st, 2013, vows to fight on in his quest for assisted dying despite having his appeal rejected by the British courts. He states that instead of dignity, all he currently has is the sympathy of judges who cannot start to understand the pain he feels every minute of his life. An article from the LA Times on April 11, 2013 says that a majority of Americans support the idea of allowing terminally ill patients to end their lives with the help of their doctors. Again from the LA Times on May 14, 2013, the article tells how Vermont is on track to become the 4th state to allow severely ill patients to end their lives under medical supervision. Society is divided in its opinion of physician-assisted suicide. Only 4 states have made it legal: Vermont, Washington, Oregon, and Montana. What happens to someone who has assisted a terminally ill loved one to commit suicide? An article published on October 3, 2013 in the New York Times describes the case of a Mr. Minor who was paid by Jeffrey Locker to help Mr. Locker end his life in such a way so that his family could collect nearly $18 million in life insurance policies that Mr. Locker had taken out. In 2011, Mr. Minor was convicted of second-degree murder. His attorneys argued that the case met the state's definition of assisted suicide. He has been given another trial. From the New York Times, cited August 10, 2013, comes another article telling how Barbara Mancini assisted her father, Joseph Yorshaw, in committing suicide. She's been charged under Pennsylvania law with aiding a suicide, a felony, punishable by up to 10 years in prison. On February 7th, she had given her father what he had requested, a vial of morphine, which he then consumed. A hospice nurse who stopped by and the house afterward found her unresponsive and called 911. The police and paramedics arrived. Although Mancini insisted that her father did not want to be revived, he was given medical attention and brought to a local hospital where his condition stabilized. He nonetheless died there on February 11th. He did not get to spend his final days in his own home or his final hours in his own bed. That state should legislate our ability to choose the manner and moment of our death if we are afflicted with a terminal and painful illness seems like a big brother type of government. Physician-assisted suicide should be a right, a personal choice that we, the state, not the state, gets to make. On February 13, 2013, in the New York Times, an article was published titled "Vermont Senate Advances Bill for Cases in Which Patients Choose to End Lives." It goes on to say that the state Senate gave final approval to a measure that would exempt doctors from criminal or civil liability when treating terminally ill patients who choose to end their lives. Any person present during the self-administration of a lethal dose of legally prescribed medication would also be exempted. This is definitely a step in the right direction. On April 15, 1996, the Chicago Tribune published an article titled "Physician-Assisted Suicide Should Be Decided by Public, Not Courts." The article reads in part, "In the most morally laden judicial decision since Roe v. Wade, two U.S. appeals courts for the 2nd and 9th Circuits have struck down as unconstitutional laws banning physician-assisted suicide." In the Chicago Tribune on January 18, 2006, an article titled "Suicide and States' Rights" reads in part, "It's up to the federal government to set uniform standards for health and safety." Justice Anthony Kennedy wrote for the majority, "The DEA properly does so when it prohibits doctors from using prescription writing powers to engage in drug trafficking. But it's up to the states to regulate the media, the medical profession within their borders." Kennedy wrote, "The Attorney General can't declare it illegitimate, a medical standard that is specifically authorized under state law. It is my belief that people with terminal painful illnesses should be able to die with dignity at the time that they decide. Advances in medical technology have given doctors the ability to sustain the lives of patients whose physical or mental capabilities cannot be restored. To die with dignity should be our right, not to be decided by someone who has no idea of the suffering we are going through." In this speech, I have covered three basic practices on the right to assisted suicide. First, that terminally ill patients should have the right to decide on physician-assisted suicide. Next, those who assist in the suicide of a terminally ill person should not be prosecuted. And last, that physician-assisted suicide should be a right. Imagine yourself in the throes of a ravaging and virulent cancer that is eating you away from the inside out. Your prognosis is grim. A few months to live, maybe a year. You don't want to go on living this way. Not only are you suffering, but so is your family. What are you going to do?
Bravo.
Thank you.